Welcome back, everybody. It's been a long day. Day 1, the run of 16 in the WR Chess Masters in London. 6 players have already advanced to the round of 8. Let's see if we can name them. Pragnanda made it through. Eric Geisy made it through. Vidit made it through. Sadvani made it through. And Anand made it through. And who am I forgetting? Alireza! How could I forget Alireza? This will get me in trouble with Laurent Fressinet. But we have 2 tie breaks coming up now to Armageddon, the most exciting format in chess. White gets time lots, but has to win. Well, black moves on with a draw. We have Kosteniuk with the white pieces against Abdusattorov. The procedure is as follows. White gets 10 minutes, and black then can do a bid for how much time he's willing to play with the draw odds. Kosteniuk bid, if I recall correctly, 9.5 minutes, and Abdusattorov proposed 8 minutes. So Abdusattorov, whose bid is lower, does get the black pieces, and Sindarov gets 10 minutes against Maxim Vashilagraf's 7.5. I think Sindarov offered, what was it, 8.5? And let me look it up. 8.5. So MVL says 7.36 will be enough. Yeah, Kosteniuk really want to play with white 9.30 is not a very generous offer, which is understandable. She's the outsider, but she won the game in the classical with the white. No, she won with black actually, but got a bad position. Then she lost with white, but got a good position. So probably she thinks her chances are higher of winning with white than holding with black, which is fair enough. In Sindarov against MVL, I'm not sure. I thought the going rate was around 7 minutes in world-class matchups, so both bids sound sort of high to me. 7.36 by MVL and 8.30 by Sindarov, who I think he's much more successful with the white pieces, Sindarov, than with black. Therefore, it also makes sense. And we might get a repeat of the Grunfeld they disputed in the second classical game. There's no cameras. This is a very low-tech operation. Just me in my basement doing commentary today and tomorrow. But I hope you'll still stick around to watch the action. Sorry, gotta do one thing here quickly to get us into the games. Start playing a minute ago, trying to get the PGN without the delay, but the one for lead chess has not started yet. So give me 1 second if we can somehow hack this. that's currently being played is the Kosteniuk game. Can't get it here yet. Delay is fine for anti-cheating. Yeah, no. But I do have a link to the non-delayed game. It just doesn't show up here. So I think what we'll do is just switch to a less pretty view. But then we can see the game live. We can always go through it. Sorry, some maintenance here afterwards on a prettier board. So let's jump into it. Kosteniuk with the white pieces against Tiebreak-Abdusattorov. A sideline of the Scotch is played. Pawn to c4, d4, bishop to g5. Looks roughly equal, but there's potential here. White is trying to block this passer on d4 and play around it on the light squares. Pawn to b4, bishop e7, a3. We just rush through the moves played so far. Kosteniuk is trying to bring the rook, trying to bring the knight, but it gets exchanged. She keeps the bishop, but that leaves the bishop on b7. It has a fairly strong piece as well. It does look like Tiebreak has things under control. Goes king f8 here. Now exchanges the bishop. Controls the open file. And we should recall, draws enough. Here rook to f6. Hits the queen and targets the pawn behind it. The queen can't stay connected to the f2 pawn. So black wins a pawn. And yeah, Kosteniuk is not going to win this game. She has to keep trying, but I don't really see any chance. And here, moves are being repeated. The game ends in a draw, which means Tiebreak is through to the next round. Yeah, Kosteniuk didn't really stand a chance there. Beat him in the classical once strong outing by the very, very strong Alexander Kosteniuk, but did not have a chance with this shortened time format. Pity for her. Tiebreak-Abdusattorov dodges a bullet, but makes it to the next round. So we'll see him back in action tomorrow. Why did she go for a draw? She didn't see any winning chances there. Pawn down, which is understandable, of course. Doesn't matter, it's not a rated game. She could have continued playing, but what is there to hope for? Black has the extra d pawn, can reinforce it with queen d8 if need be. So yeah, wasn't much of a chance. Solid effort by Tiebreak-Abdusattorov, making it to the next round. I guess we'll stick with this view. It doesn't allow me to draw as many arrows, but it allows us to go live. We're waiting for the game to begin. We don't have a video feed. Apologies for that. It's just us, chat. But I wouldn't have forced a draw. I agree. Probably wouldn't have won either, though. Not sure when this game will begin, but should be any moment. Keep you posted. So what do we think about tomorrow's matchups? Does anybody recall the matchups? Vidit Erigaisi? Arjun has to be the favorite, but Vidit is so solid. So strong. Scheduled for 10:20 according to their Twitter. So that's in 10 minutes. Maybe will give us a chance to rewatch the Kosteniuk-Abdusattorov game with our fancy little board before they start. But they're starting. They're adjusting. Here we go. Sindarov with white against MVL. The Najdorf, MVL's trusted weapon for, I don't know how long, 2 decades? Bishop d3, e5, knight d2. Trendy line. White usually goes f4. Then the pawn gets taken. Knight takes. Black plays bishop e7 or knight e5 first. And I always thought black had a solid position here. Computer likes a little bit for white, which is why this has become very trendy at the highest levels. But I thought black just goes bishop e7 castles. Has a look around. So I was never too impressed with this line for white. But might be a bit of a lack of understanding on my part, of course. Bishop e7 followed by short castles played. White goes b3, bishop b2. But what to do next? Do you go knight cd5? Then there's always bishop takes d5. Yeah, I always struggled to find a plan here. Sindarov goes queen e1, headed for g3. MVL will put a rook on c8. Then I don't know. Play king h8. Step out of this. But we see white's idea. The bishop on b2 and the queen on g3. Supposed to combine. Keeping an eye on the g7 pawn. Trying to put pressure there. It's a bold strategy. I wonder if it's going to pay off for him. He plays knight ft7. Some regrouping here by MVL. He wants to put the bishop on f6 to neutralize the guy on b2. But this allows knight cd5 now. Since black no longer has 2 pieces controlling this d5 square. Maximus, of course. Tremendously experienced in all these Najdorf positions. He will know what he's doing. I would jump at the chance to go knight cd5, which is what Sindarov does. Sindarov, the young Uzbek player, tremendously strong at shorter time controls. Olympic gold medalist in 2022. MVL goes rook c8 now. Hints at knight takes d3, followed by maybe rook c2, activating the rook. Yeah, black is still very stable with his 2 knights blocking the diagonal. My money's on MVL currently to beat him. When he makes it off the opening in the Najdorf, it's incredibly tough. When will Radio Jan make a comeback? I don't know. He's still hibernating, but could happen any day. Rook d1 played. Bring the rook into action. Maybe he's arguing black will run out of useful moves. And knight takes d3, c takes d. Thus release the Kraken on b2. What should black do? Somehow I want to play king h8, but I'm not sure if it does anything. Bishop h4 also comes to mind. Vil plays rook c6. It's a bit random. But maybe he also couldn't spot a good waiting move. White still has plenty of waiting moves. King h1. Can't hurt. Especially if black plays a move like rook c6 that doesn't indicate, at least to me. And the obvious idea here. King h1 played. Very logical. Stepping out of any checks. And passing the move to black. Saying, okay. Doesn't look like you have a plan. So wait. Maxim goes bishop g5. Now, both his bishops have 1 knight in check. But they don't particularly want to take any. Bishop takes f4. Knight takes or rook takes. I don't think that helps black very much. So maybe it's time for queen g3. I'm assuming he wants to make queen g3 with bishop to h4, chasing this queen away from the g3 square. Then the queen can go to e3. But now Sindarov goes c4. Tired of thinking about knight takes d3 and rook c2. That changes the nature of the position a bit. Now after knight takes d3, White would have to recapture with the rook, but it looks like he has enough of a grip. To do that also gives Black a bit of a help to play b5 or knight takes d3 followed by b5. None of these lines are easy. I like how Sindarov has handled this, and Maxime keeps waiting with rook to e8. Just making small improvements. Now White can keep the bishop. That alert box is a bit aggressive, although we're happy, of course, to see that subscription. What should White do? Keep the bishop? Bishop b1? That allows b5, I don't know. Play some move like a4 to stop b5 for good. Sindarov thinking about it. h3 also comes to mind. Yeah, he plays h3. Just taking the g4 square under control. Radio Jan might have some thoughts on Shevchenko. Yeah, it's not a bad prompt. Will they play another game? No, this is it. This is Armageddon. If it's a draw or Black wins, then Black moves on to the next round. If White wins, White moves on. And Maxime decides to take one of these guys. Bishop takes f4. He's running out of useful things to do. Not sure how you recapture. I somehow like the look of knight takes f4 in order to go queen g3 next. But I guess Maxime wants to play queen g5. Trying to activate his pieces. Yeah, that's what happens. Knight takes f4, queen g5. Stopping queen g3. Could play bishop c1 to chase that queen away from the g5 square. Of course, the bishop is quite well placed on b2. So bishop c1. It's also a step back. But sometimes you have to take 2 steps back to make 1 forward. That's how I live my life. Bishop b1 looks like another logical move once again. Yeah. Getting this bishop out of harm's way and clearing the view for the d1 rook. Still looks like Sindarov is maybe a little bit better here. But Maxime has seen worse. And as long as he's not in desperate trouble, I still believe in him. In any type of knight of position. Knight c5 keeps an eye on e4, but isn't threatening anything. As of yet, once again, knight d5 becomes an option. Bishop c1 is possible, but I can't think of any particularly smart move to improve the position. Queen f2, also yeah. Nice move actually. Hints at knight takes e6 and something happening on the f-file. So Maxime has to start pairing some threats. Knight takes e6, followed by bishop takes e5, and queen f7 is a threat now, in whatever order. Probably in that order. I like it. It's always a bad sign if you have to be the first to parry some threats. He has to go back, queen to e7, and now the queen can go to its rightful square on g3. And then use threats, new threats on the horizon. Knight to h5, threatening queen g7, and knight f6 check is now looming. h6, but doesn't it allow knight h5? I want to go knight h5, queen g5 is his point. Still looks dangerous. Even bishop c1. Probably wants to go queen g5. No matter what. Sindarov taking his time. Knight d5 was interesting. But yeah, queen g5 is coming after everything. And white might still be a little better. But if black makes it to an endgame, he should have chances to defend this. I don't know if you consider h4, just trying to rule queen g5 out. Of course, h4 also weakens the g4 square. Bit of a concession. Maxime did get crushed plenty in Najdorfs, but usually it happens out of the opening. If he emerges from the opening with a sound structure, he's incredibly hard to beat, which is why I keep believing in him. Although I think, yes, Sindarov has played a nice game here. He's certainly still better with these two lasers, as LeBron James would call them, pointed towards the black king. Now I guess you go rook de1. Keep building the pressure. Black is solid, but clearly worse. Rook f5. This looks good. Clearing the f1 square. For the other rook, you don't really want to play g6, creating more weaknesses. So yeah, he is getting outplayed. But will that be enough? He's so resilient, so tricky, so fast. Then again, Sindarov is no slouch. Keeps building the pressure here. Played a very nice game so far. Milovino! Can't fool you on the math. If you make 2 steps back and 1 forward, you're still 1 step back. You're too sharp, Milovino. Maxime did take a step back here with the knight to d7 to reinforce the colleague on e5. Now goes f6, which is also a decision you don't take lightly because it weakens the light squares. Now let's say rook h5, then bishop f5 is looming. The bishop could go to e6. Rook h6 is a threat. Sindarov plays very cool, calm and collected. Doesn't go for any direct attack with rook h5. Just goes back. Once again, clearing the f5 square for his bishop. Now goes a4, trying to stop b5. I'm not sure if that really stops b5. Maybe it's time for Maxime to look for counterplay. Not sure there's much there, but with b5 no matter what. The white could go cb, ab and pawn to a5. Create a passer. Yeah, b5 played. What else is there? And I'm curious if Sindarov is going to take twice or if he's going to go cb at a5, which also looks nice. How's the clock? White has kept his time advantage, but not increased it. 3:19 versus 2:06, and he's starting to take his time now. So yeah, this will come down to quick hands. Quick hands, full hearts. Can't lose. Good thinking, Mr. Yeti Face. Maybe we can take 2 small steps backward to make 1 giant step ahead. Cunning. Sindarov does take twice. Rook b7, trying to create some counterplay. Now bishop f5, attending bishop e6. Looks obvious, but you still need to break this construction. Bishop e6, king h8. Where's the breakthrough? Rook b5, you give a check. King goes to the corner, and we still need the tactical flourish to finish it off, which should be there, but I don't see it yet. You have bishop c1, threatening bishop takes h6, but I don't see very direct way. Is there bishop takes d7? If queen d7, rook f6, and if knight d7, bishop f6, it exists, but does it win? That's the next question. Yeah, he's played bishop takes d7. Knight takes d7. That was very fast. Bishop takes f6. Knight takes f6. Rook takes f6. Keeps an advantage, but is it winning? Rook d5. He will take on h6. Then there's rook g5. Yeah, Maxime is so resourceful. How do you win here? I don't see it. h4 stops rook g5, but feels like we're losing the thread a bit. Yeah, I'm sure he won on rook h6, but then rook g5 blocks the g5 and prepares gh. You can also see by the time used, something's gone wrong here. Typical Maxime game. French school of suffering, but not quite collapsing. Rook f7 played. You can't take, or can you? Then queen f3 check. He's going to be thinking about that. Queen f3, king e6. Is there a way to win the rook? I don't see it, but I'm also slow. It's been a long day. Thinking about it, he doesn't have to. He can also go queen g5 or queen e5, after which I also don't see a direct win. But he's probably calculating queen takes f7, rook takes, king takes, queen check, king e6. I still don't see how we win a rook, but Maxime goes queen g5. Also looks good enough. Queen f3 and rook e5. Yeah, he's not going to lose this. He's not getting checkmated here. Material is equal. Black's pieces are coordinated. He's hanging in there. Barely, but he's hanging in. Before logical move. Time is getting a bit low. Both very strong blitz players. King h7. Now queen d3, instead of queen g6, worst case scenario. Can I make a move? He's looking for a way to pose problems. That gives himself problems on the clock. Which is why being black in Armageddon has its advantages. All you have to do is survive. You don't have to come up with any trickery. Yeah, you couldn't see any. Goes rook f4. After too long, I think. Rook e3, queen c6. But now black is extremely well coordinated. Queen e5, queen c2 check, king g8, covering the f8 square. Still don't see it. He's trying queen g6, hinting at queen f7, but everything is covered. Queen e6. Yeah, Maxime just never blunders in such situations. Yeah, jinx him by saying that. Rook f6. No, still everything under control. Sorry, the moves come so quickly. Sometimes we don't even see what the last move was. But we can see material is still equal. Now he can give some checks. Queen e1, queen e5. Draw being enough. Time is running out. I know what the rules are here. Do they get increment after move 60? Do they get an extra second? If not, it is time to speed up. This was queen h4 now. Queens got traded somehow. I played queen g3. Takes, rook e5. And White either resigned or lost on time. MVL does come through. Wasn't easy, probably wasn't fun. I'm sure he was lost. At some point along the way, Sindarov played a great game, outplaying him strategically. But then, to finish him off, and that's Maxime's superpower, is so extremely tough. Good job by both. Great game by Sindarov. But MVL, once again, the French school of suffering, held up and the game was drawn, which means MVL moves on to the round of, how do you call this, the quarterfinals? Round of 8? I don't know. Let's briefly go through the game with the computer, see where Sindarov missed his chance. Now the games are over. They show up in my little tool here as well. So yeah, Sindarov built a nice position. Got an advantage. Round +1 according to Mr. Computer. Now it's more than +1. Yeah, 150. The edge keeps growing. Bishop takes d5 was a mistake. Allowing this bishop to get a clear view. Queen g5 back was better. But this was played. Rook back. Rook f5 here. Bishop c1 was nasty. Threatening this. Rook f5. Should keep the advantage. Rook f1, f6. Rook f2 back. Rook c7, a4. b5. Here, Compi says he should have gone a5, which is what I mentioned as well. Not giving any counterplay. creating this passer with still a big advantage. Let's see if there was something later. Rook b7, bishop f5, rook b5. No, there's no direct win. There never was. So yeah, maybe this was the best chance. The game is far from over, but white keeps all his trumps. The way it went in the game, yeah, bishop d7 was very tempting if you spot bishop f6. But I'm pretty sure his intention was to go rook takes h6 here, and he missed rook g5. After which the rook is lost. And since rook h6 doesn't work, the position just remains equal. Yeah, here I was wondering if queen f7 or queen g5, just as both are fine. Queen f7 was possible, but there was no need for it, especially with little time against the very mobile queen. Probably a good decision by MVL to not go for something like this. Because this you can lose against a queen with no time. And queen g5 was very, very solid. Then yeah. Okay, we've seen some more moves in the live game, but white never really got another chance. Let's briefly look at the Kosteniuk game, where it looked while watching quickly that she never really had a chance. Let's see if we missed something. Yeah, roughly equal position. Out of the opening, here Compi wants to see c5, which is logical, restricting this bishop a little bit. Guess she didn't like a5. Then you can go b5. Grab some more space. a3, c5 played. Compi doesn't like a5 because it allows this passer, but it shouldn't be such a big deal. Rook b8, rook a3. Yeah, rook a3 was a mistake apparently. The knight should have come here. The rook doesn't really have any business. On the third rank, rook b6, 92 takes, not necessary, but makes some sense to simplify the position. Yeah, bishop c2 I mentioned I didn't like because now his bishop stays so strong. It's probably better to take, go rook g3, but it remains roughly equal. And now black is very solid. There's no real way to touch this construction. Nodibek. Stabilized, then spotted this way to grab a pawn. Kosteniuk, yeah. Here she had b6. Maybe that could have confused matters a little bit. Unexpected. Tactical. Little shot. Rook d5, bc7 wins. So b6 maybe could have muddied the waters. It's not winning or anything, but maybe would have caused some panic. Something like this. And position gets a little sharper. Queen b6, queen e8. Black is still surviving, but yeah, this would have been tougher. But it's such a random tactical shot that I'm not surprised. It's missed in the heat of the battle. After queen e4, queen d6, black is once again stabilizing. Now, yeah, there's no more hope. This allows a perpetual, but no more than that. And the draw means that Abdusattorov moves on to the next round. Dodges a bullet there, but he does qualify. Let's find out. Maybe chat knows this. Chat normally knows more than me. Who plays whom in tomorrow's games? We know Vidit is facing Erigaisi and Anand is facing Prague. What are our other matchups? Whom is MVL playing? And whom does Nodibek face? Do you guys know this? I said I should know, but I do not. So, if anyone has a clue, let me know. I'll check the website. Let's do the procedure. I can only see the players here. Reglement. That should give me the pairings, no? Nodibek and MVL face each other. There we go. Should be a fun matchup. Nodibek slightly higher rate at MVL. can never write MVL off, especially with slightly shortened time controls. Also in Classical, he's been so solid. He's made like 1 million draws in the Grand Chess Tour in a row. Very, very hard to win a game against him. So those are our pairings. Alireza against Raunak. Vichy versus Prague. Erigaisi Vidit and Nodebek against MVL. Should be a fun day of chess. So if you guys want to join the action, then by all means, tune in tomorrow, 10 a.m. London time, which is 11 a.m. Central European time. And I'm sure you can figure it out. For whatever time zone you guys are in. I was told it's 1:30 Indian time, is that correct? So we get 2 big Indian matchups tomorrow. Should be interesting. Thanks for watching. In the meantime, do me a favor and follow WR Chess Masters on X, I believe it's called now. Check it out, you won't miss any of the action. And you do me. And the whole WR Chess crew. Big favor, so check that out. WR_chess. See, they follow me. Great taste. Okay, been a long day. We started, let's check, 14 hours ago covering this event. I wasn't aware this would take all day. I shouldn't have agreed to a fixed date. Anyway, more of this tomorrow. 10 a.m. London time. We get 4 world-class matchups. Thanks for watching, and until then, have a good night. See you guys then.